Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to TNC. We help you see the new you. My name is Jennifer Nuya, live streaming from Cavite, Philippines. And you're watching Stories from the Fringe on TNC Express. Welcome everyone. It's so lovely to have you all here with us. We have a very special show today. We have an Ask Me Anything episode. So we encourage you to use the chat box to drop in your comments and ask your questions, and we'll do our best to answer your questions during this show. You can also throw into the chat box what's been your most favorite part of this 5-part series. All right, so before today's show, we asked around our friends and family members. We filled out some questions that they've been wanting to ask about diversity and inclusion. Okay, so some of them might be personal, so I don't know. Let's check. So one of the questions here is, how did you start with your advocacy? I began my professional life in HR in 2008, where I brought a wealth of experience from teaching. And over the last 12 years, I have worked with global, matrix, multicultural companies. And what I like the most about my HR work is the ability to influence and to promote positive work environment. We realized that people thrive in work environments that not only celebrate but also empower cultural differences and the unique abilities of each and everyone. So, stories from the Fringe. Why do we have this show? We hope that Stories from the Fringe on TNC Express will serve as a platform to push for more diversity, equity, inclusion, and diversity in all aspects of our lives. We are committed to creating a world where all differences, whether it be creed, race, gender, abilities, and many others, are not only understood but also celebrated and accepted. We do this by pushing uncomfortable conversations from the fringe to the front and center of our conversations, holding everyone accountable and making DIB a priority. I personally believe that we all can contribute to this collective vision. Now, one of my latest adventures is the creation of the Ubuntu game. This is an interactive gaming experience with AR, VR component, of course, education with educational component, starting with a traditional board game. And this will allow the participants to put themselves in the shoes of another person from another creed, from another race, gender, and abilities, and many more. Our amazing creators are from all over the globe, and we are united in one vision that is of overcoming racial strife, bigotry, misunderstanding, and promoting the love of gamification, discovery that will change, hopefully influence the minds of our children and the future leaders. Our massive transformative purpose is to bridge diversity through communication, because we believe that communication is the first step. So when you have communication, you have connection, and finally you will have empathy. Because if you have a breakdown in communication, in connection, then you will not be able to get to that part wherein you will be able to understand what the other person is going through. There are many ways to join us and to support our mission. I encourage you to check out our website at ubuntugame.com so that you can know more about the fundraising events, volunteer opportunities, and the many more ways that you can help us get the message across to your family and friends. Now, how the Ubuntu game is played. Players traverse the board using play pieces by rolling a die. They land on spaces that trigger conversations in 6 categories that matter, like Viva la Difference, multiculturalism, Don't Label Me, Heal the World. A mobile app is added to provide context, enlightenment, or information to kindle the conversation. Players can play as individuals, in pairs, or in teams. Some players will spin to see what will be the barrier that they will experience during the game. Additionally, players, as I have mentioned a while ago, they can play as avatars and see themselves literally through a virtual reality experience as someone from another culture, creed, or place in life. Augmented reality will accentuate some of the images that are familiar in their surroundings. Players will also participate in activities one-on-one with the group, solving riddles about society and the planet, work collaboratively towards a goal, or even just have fun, pitching in together, like making a recipe or having a cleanup drive. The possibilities are endless. The game is over when each player reaches the end of the board. The player, pair, or in teams with the highest score wins. The winner or winners get to spin the breakthrough wheel, landing on various options to explain what's been changed in their perceptions, and what actions they will take after the game. So there will be an extension of the experience after the game. So we're excited because finally we are now rolling out we're doing the beta testing of the digital version. You have seen here the version available in Tabletopia. So for those who are interested to become beta testers at this stage, you can reach out to me. I'll provide later on how my social media channels handle so that we can connect. So corollary to this, I'd like to share another project that we have recently launched. We want to offer a bridge for a better future and help solve huge inequality in spoken English. This inequality is impacting the future of our children, I must say, right? Through English for Change Global, we are focalizing our effort through the connection between foreign volunteers and Latin American rural communities. 1 year into the COVID-19 crisis, we see now the huge disparity among communities. Just 2 nights ago, some friends and I were talking about virtual reality, we're talking about augmented reality, 5G education, and we're beyond excited about the many possibilities as we move towards the future. But of course, we cannot close our eyes to those people who are in the unplugged communities. When I say unplugged communities, these are in the Philippines level 4 communities which have no electricity, no internet. And unplugged can also mean those communities who have electricity, have internet, but have spotty or intermittent internet connection, low connectivity. So we were talking about that, and this the UN Sustainable Development Goals website avers that 500 million children have no access to remote learning. So let that sink in. 500 million children are affected. They are at a disadvantage, disenfranchised, may I say. We're going towards the future, but there are some people who are still in the fringes of society, not enjoying inclusive quality education at all. So as we were thinking that, of course, it's heartbreaking, but we agreed that what we're doing is what we can consider baby steps. Someone cannot do everything for everyone, but everyone can do something for someone. So that's what I personally believe. So we start with this English for Change Global. So some short-term quick wins include free English speaking sessions for almost a year every Friday for a year, and a course for teens in Venezuela in alliance with Rotaño, another institution from Venezuela, another pilot with a rural school in Ultra for a class of 12 children. So what are our next steps? Possible partnership with Liceo Oscar Castro with 2,000 students in Rancagua, Chile, located in Pica, Iquique. Next iteration at Discord with the creation of a bot inside the interface. Connect volunteers and deal with the procedures and electronic forms. Define the experience, the task, challenge game to keep the community of the volunteers engaged and to have organic growth 10 times. Create a 100% token financial model plus fiat donation. And most importantly, design this project with global sustainable mindset. So we also encourage you to support English for Change Global. Now more than ever, it is critical that we have diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging practices embedded in this new expanded way of living, working, and studying, so that hopefully we will be able to reduce and finally eliminate that digital divide, because we believe that no child deserves to be left behind. Before we proceed to the second question, Direct, probably we can display some of the TNC shows. I'd like to encourage you to watch other TNC shows. We have The Home Buyer by Dante Salamat, Awesome Day, The Talk, U-Turn, really inspirational programs for people on the go. Also YOLO, Negosyo Home, and Realty Realities. Thank you so much for supporting stories from the Fringe. I hope that you also continue to support the other TNC shows. So we go on to the second question. Okay. So in this time of pandemic, how do you manage up? This is a question from a friend. I believe it should have been directed to HR hotline by past president Jesse Francis Rebosilo, but let me take a stab. Okay, so managing up for the appreciation of our viewers, it is helping or assisting your manager by removing obstacles, communicating proactively. You will be able to support your manager. So how do you do that? How do you do that in this virtual reality that we are in now? So again, communicate the way your boss wants, so not on your own terms. So this includes progress updates. If I may share my own personal experience, whenever I onboard my own boss, one of the key things that I do is to schedule a regular cadence call with him or her if he or she is not in the same site, or she's not working in the same site as I am, and schedule one-on-one check-in meetings so that we can discuss our priorities for the coming week, and we can discuss the progress of the projects that we shared the previous week. So don't assume that your good work will speak for itself. You have to identify what is the communication style of your manager. Is it formal or informal? Does he or she prefer email, phone calls, in person? And of course, observe decision making. Does your boss focus on facts or insights? Is the process fast or reflective? And present the information consistent with his or her decision style. Learn what motivates your boss. You know, your boss is working with the broader business goals. So I'm pretty sure that there may be times when you feel that you are not seeing eye to eye, you are not aligned, because you are working with your own business goals. Like if you're working in your function, in your department. But you have to also know the bigger business goals of your boss so that you can help him or her accomplish those. Okay, so it's trickle down. And then clarify priorities, especially if you feel overwhelmed. Be sure that you have the same game plan. So that's managing up. Now, if I may add, conversely, managing down, how are you as a boss going to manage down your employees? So in one of my trainings that I undertook, there are 3 classifications of managers. So we have the boss, we have the coach, and we have the leader. Now, it's also based on the personality of your subordinates. You cannot use a cookie cutter approach, because otherwise you might frustrate some of your subordinates, and others might be disillusioned, for lack of a better term. All right, so when do you become a boss? When the person can't do and will do. When do you become a coach? When can't do but will do. And when do you become a cheerleader? When the person can do and will do. So if you use the wrong approach, okay, to a certain person, it will not be for the best of the organization, right? So the third question is, what are your peeves? All right. I have one pet peeve, that major pet peeve, and that is when someone lies to me. Because I feel that if someone lies to me, he or she takes me for a fool. And I know for myself that I'm not a fool. And of course, I believe that nothing will be secret for a very long time, right? It will be revealed sooner or later. So you might as well tell me even if it's bad news, you have to tell me so that we can work out something, so that we can resolve it. So not wait for something to blow up before you tell me that there's an issue. Correct. And then some final questions. Let's look at if there are any questions. Okay, so no questions in the chat yet. All right. So some of the questions here is, how do we reconcile our fight against global Chinese political aggression and at the same time protect the Asians in Europe, North America, and Australia who are inadvertently being dragged to Asian hate as Chinese for being Oriental? All right, so now we're going for political. Okay, so this is the beauty of Ask Me Anything episode, right? People can just chime in with their questions. It can reach from personal, it can reach from the workplace, organizational, and then now we go to political. Okay. How do we reconcile our fight against global Chinese political aggression? I would like to think that it's not really aggression, but rather stemming from language barrier. I would only assume. I can only assume. I don't have the data. All right. I still have to make a research. Are the Chinese soldiers stationed in the disputed islands, can they speak English? And I would surmise that our local fishermen, they cannot speak in Mandarin. So there you already have a language barrier and people cannot communicate. So probably what can be attributed as aggression is not really aggression. Probably it's just misinterpretation of the actions from both parties. But I believe that the ocean is really vast. We really cannot. When you look over the plane, when you're in the plane and you're overlooking any body of water, you will see its vastness. So I don't really think that any one country can just use up all the resources. So my hope is all the countries that are disputing over these waters, they'll find a way to just have partnership agreement on how they can best utilize the natural resources, taking into account the needs of every people, while at the same time ensuring that we are doing it sustainably, not for our own present day needs, but also for the needs of our children. Now, the one who sent in this question also mentioned about Asian hate. I have seen some of the videos and they are really heartbreaking. And I even had one of my brothers tell me that he has friends in US. There's this one friend who had his head bleached, and whenever he would go out, he would have to wear eyeglasses so that people on the street won't identify him as a Filipino, as Asian. So that's heartbreaking because people should feel safe. People should feel protected wherever they are. And what's even more heartbreaking is I saw this video. There were two Asians. They were just walking, and unprovokedly, a black woman attacked them with a hammer. The good thing is, the one who was attacked, she was able to fend off the attack because she was holding something. I think it was a bottle. So she was not hit on the face. And I was wondering, where is that black woman coming from? Why is there hate from that black woman to another to another minority? I mean, if there's any nationality that should understand the plight, the challenges of Asians, it should be the blacks. It should be our African American brothers and sisters, because they experienced how it was to be discriminated against. So I was totally appalled. How can someone just attack someone without any provocation? Now, I think that is what one of my friends mentioned, that that humanity has amnesia. We have forgotten our roots. We have forgotten our origins, because for those people who believe in the Judeo-Christian origins of mankind, we only came from one mother. We only came from one father. So basically, whoever you are, however you look, however you smell, however you appear to someone else, we are all brothers and sisters. We all came from one seed. Oh, okay, this is totally unexpected. Okay. I hope we understand that we are all one and we are all connected wherever we are. That beneath the skin color, beneath the wrappings that we put on our bodies, we are all the same. We bleed the same. We bleed red. I don't know if there's anyone who bleeds blue or green or violet, but I know that we all bleed the same. So if we are able to realize that there is no me, there is no you, there is only we. And I believe that truly, if we are able to realize that, then we can really proceed to the future. We can altogether create a more diverse, equitable, inclusive future that our children deserve. Okay. Are there any questions? Okay, so the questions. All right. Okay. So one last question before we leave. It says here, how is your love life? Okay, so kailangan talaga i-push natin before we go. I am intentionally single and attached until I am fully healed. I used to look for love in the wrong places, like romantic relationships, friendships that took advantage of me because I did not see my own worth. Now, until I am whole, I am healthy, then probably I can give love a shot. Okay, so I hope I'm not crying ugly. Okay. So that concludes our 5-part series. I appreciate everyone who stayed with us for the last 5 weeks. Thank you so much. I hope that we have been able to provide value for you and your family and loved ones. Connect with me through my social media so that we can continue the conversation. At LinkedIn, just look for Jennifer Bautista Nuya. Also at Instagram at Jennifer Bautista Nuya. Twitter at Nuya Jennifer. And with that, I wish you all a good rest of your day or evening, depending where you are in the world. God bless everyone.